Okay, everybody, welcome to another episode of Be Built by Broser, live from the Mecca of bodybuilding. So today, listen, we know that you guys love the hardcore stuff, the new exercises, the hardcore techniques, but we also have a lot of viewers out there who are just getting started, or maybe they're intermediates, some people who don't have full gyms to train in, sometimes just training out of hotels, that kind of thing, or maybe just at home with just some dumbbells and things like that. So we want to address those people as well. So what we're going to do is start a series called basically Back to the Basics. We'll sprinkle this in every now and again when we do Be Built by Bros. So today we're going to do it with triceps. I'm going to show you some great movements to do just using some dumbbells and using your body weight. We're also going to, of course, have our Ask Merlin at the end of the show. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about a new partnership I have with a new great company that I want you guys to know about. So hopefully you'll enjoy the show. So the first basic tricep movement we want to show you is called bench dips. We're going to show you how it's done off of 2 benches, but if you're saying like in a hotel room, you could use a couple of chairs, or a chair in the bed, chair on the floor. Any way you can get it done. There's a great basic movement for the triceps, puts on a lot of mass. So as you can see, I'm lowering to the bottom under full control, getting a full stretch on the triceps, and then I'm pushing back up to the top using just triceps power. I'm trying my best to keep the shoulders and the chest out of it. Again, slow on the way down, slow on the way up, just using the triceps and get a good contraction at the top, and that's how you do those. Okay guys, so here we're doing a very basic movement with dumbbells, the lying tricep extension. As you can see, he's doing it on a bench. If you had to, you could even do it on the floor. And what he's doing is he's keeping his elbows locked in position by his sides. He's lowering the dumbbells down by the sides of his ears under full control, getting a full stretch. And then he's pushing back up to the top using just the triceps power, and is contracting hard at the top to make sure it works the triceps. You want to do this movement very strictly, otherwise you bring the shoulders into play. That's the lying tricep extension with dumbbells. So the next movement is a unilateral movement. It's the seated overhead dumbbell tricep extension. This movement works the long head of the tricep, which is actually the largest head, so it's very good for building mass. As you can see, I'm holding my arm up over my head. I'm trying to keep my elbow as close to my head by my ear as possible. I want to keep it in that position without bending the elbow too much and turning it into a press. I'm lowering the dumbbell under full control till I get a full stretch, and then under control to the top, trying to get a full hard contraction to the top. Great movement for working and building the triceps. Okay, one more movement for the triceps, good basic movement you could do from anywhere, is the dumbbell kickback. Traditionally, a lot of people do this movement, and they do a lot of swinging, use a lot of momentum. You do not want to do that. You just want to engage the tricep. He's keeping his elbow tucked in close to his side. He's not letting the shoulder move up or down, and he's just squeezing back, flexing the tricep hard, and getting a good solid contraction. He's doing it on a bench here, but of course you could do it on a chair, you could do it on a bed, anywhere that you can possibly keep your body stable. This is a great movement, again, for building now the outer head of the tricep. Give this one a shot.
All right, Merlin, what's on the agenda for today?
All right, well, of course we have Ask Merlin, but before we get into that, I just want to talk about a great new partnership that I made with a company called Insure Fitness. And this is a company that basically sells insurance to people in the fitness industry. This includes personal trainers, coaches, could be Zumba instructors, massage therapists, jazzercise people, anybody who basically is in the health and wellness field. And trust me, you do need to have insurance, whether you're online or in person, because let's face it, first of all, we live in a very litigious world. Plus also accidents do happen, things happen, and you really do need to protect yourself, and Insure Fitness definitely has your back. So this is a company, like I said, that I've partnered with. That's who I get my insurance from, and they've actually given me a special code, which I'll have Dave put up on the screen for us, which is basically just my name, all is one word, Eric Broser. And also we'll put up my special link so that you can actually get $10 off on your insurance. And we're talking about basically spending $159 a year.
Wow.
For $1 million policy.
That's awesome.
And listen, as somebody who had a heart attack last year and did not have health insurance, I have learned my lesson.
Yeah.
That you need to be prepared for things, and it's worth spending a little bit of extra money. I mean, basically, how much money is that a month? $15 a month to be protected, so that you don't lose your business, you don't lose your livelihood in case of an accident. So www.insurefitness.com to get more information. Plus, they also have a lot of great stuff on their site. They have articles from trainers. They have teaching you how to use social media for your business.
Oh, nice.
They have a lot of different tools so that you can help to increase your business, learn more about it, and just do better overall. So, like I said, we'll put it up on the screen. I hope you guys will take care of this, because it's something that's very, very important. And I am very, very happy also to have been named their first Spotlight coach on the page. They started a trainer spotlight series for influencers in the industry. They asked me to be the first one, so I'm very proud of that.
Nice.
And maybe some of you guys out there will be as well. So check it out, insurefitness.com.
Awesome. Okay, Biggie. So I was telling you off camera, I just did a new episode with Matt Porter a few days ago in Vegas.
What's up, Matt?
Yeah. And you know, a lot of time when we shoot together, we're always wondering what's going to be a good subject people are going to like and are going to be enjoying, you know. And sometimes I think we think too much. And I told him, I said, you know what, why don't we talk about the reason why you get started in the business, and why, you know, he was working at Max Muscle just like I was. We kind of have a similar background. And of course, you know, his coaching company, you know, or clients, you know, grew, and eventually he decided to start his own company because he wanted to have supplements that he really wanted to have the exact things that he believed in and everything. So I told him, why don't you talk about the basics, go back to the basics, and someone who's just getting into bodybuilding, which is a lot of we always assume that everybody knows as much as we do, or, you know, they're well versed in bodybuilding. A lot of people are watching those videos, they don't know much about anything, and sometimes it's hard to find the right information. So I told him, why don't you let people know who are just getting started what they really need, what's the most important in order of importance, and if someone who's on a budget that don't really have a lot of money, what do they really need? Is it, you know, a fat burner, or is it and I thought it was a great episode, and he's already almost at 10,000 views after a couple of days, so I think I'm onto something here. So I kind of wanted to, you know, in the same vein, ask you, if someone's watching this video, and we kind of did a little bit of that today in the training, what would you say is the most important, or maybe the 5 most important thing for them to know to make progress quickly and to avoid making, you know, mistakes that a lot of people that are just getting to the sports are doing, that I've done, I'm sure, you know, overtraining. And a lot of time people, when they get into bodybuilding, they're going from doing nothing to doing everything, and they think the more they do, the faster the results will come. And in bodybuilding, a lot of time it's completely the opposite. If you do too much, you will actually regress. So what would you say your best advice is, or maybe top 5 or 6 things that you would tell someone who's just getting started to make quick progress and actually, you know, make it worthwhile?
Well, without turning this into a 2-hour video,
I know.
You could hire a coach like myself or Matt and get things started for you. And then
Let's say money's an
direction.
issue. Let's say money's an issue.
But no, I'm kidding. I'm just, you know, the truth of the matter is that most people don't have coaches. They're not interested in getting a coach. They can't have a coach, whatever. So they have to learn on their own. And it's very, very important, like you said, to start out correctly. If you start out wrong from the get-go, you can do so many things wrong and derail your progress. Sometimes people give up because they're not making progress, and it's really only because they just don't have the right direction. So the first thing I think you got to do is you definitely have to do some research and learn, you know, what is, first of all, you have to know what are your goals. What is it that you want to accomplish? Your goals have to fit your program. Your program has to fit the level that you're at. If you've never been in a gym versus somebody who's been there for a year or so on and so forth. So you have to get onto the proper program. Like you mentioned, a lot of people read the magazines. They see what a pro does, and, you know, like, oh, let me follow this. He's huge, so let me, you know, I want to be huge, so let me do this. But that's not the right way to go about it, because number one, the pro who you're reading about, they didn't start that way. You know, they were a beginner once too, and you're reading about what they are doing now versus then. And also, again, you know, the pros are, you know, the elite out there. They have elite genetics, better than 99.999% of all of us. And they also may be using PEDs and things like that you're not using. So really, in a nutshell, make sure that you do some research and learn, you know, what program will help you get the results the quickest possible. Now, I know that's kind of a general thing to say, But there are a lot of good sites out there that have basic bodybuilding programs on there that are built for people who want to, you know, they want hypertrophy or muscle growth versus somebody who's more interested in strength versus somebody who's mostly interested in fat loss. Some people might be more interested in sports performance. And there are some great sites out there, if you Google it, that will list some basic starter programs for people like that. And I definitely recommend that you read these sites and you learn the exercises, you learn the programs. You don't try to dive into anything too fast. Don't take on too much at once, and just get started on a good basic program. So,
but let me stop you right there. And the days today are a lot different than they were before. Before it was hard to find information except for the magazines. Now it's like there's almost too much information, and there's a lot of sites out there. There's a lot of forums who have the wrong information. So people who are just getting started, they don't know anything. They don't know if they're reading something correct or incorrect. So that's kind of why we're doing this right now. And what I was trying to get at is basically, aside from doing some research, and I'm sure the right information probably comes back around quite often, so that's a good way to tell if it's the right information or not. But I'll give you an example for myself, okay? When I started bodybuilding, I did it because I was into the Rocky movies, and I just loved the way he looked, and I wanted to have abs like Rocky. So what I started doing is basically doing abs every single day in the gym for like 15-20 minutes, and people would see me and they would laugh because every time they would come into the gym, it seemed I was always doing abs and stuff, hoping to get abs like that. Of course, I never got the abs until I figured out that it's not just to do abs, but to have the diet along with it and lose the body fat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I overtrained so much at the beginning, and if I had done a lot less, if I had known better, I'd be in a much better place now. And that's kind of when I'm, you know,
so
some of the biggest mistakes or
I think that, you know, listen, when it comes to making progress, no matter what your goals are, there's your aspects basically are your training, your diet, your supplementation, your rest, and if I had to say something else, it would be consistency and persistence in your program.
Okay.
So those are the things that I would say that you need to focus on.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I can't sit here and make a program off the top of my head for everybody that's out there that will fit them.
Right.
But let's try to put some parameters together.
Okay.
Okay, so basically there's really no reason why a beginner needs to train with weights more than, say, 4 days a week.
Okay.
I like a 2 day on, 1 day off, 2 day on, 2 day off type program. This leaves you the weekends for free. So maybe you could do Monday, Tuesday, take off Wednesday, train Thursday, Friday, take the weekends off.
Awesome.
That's a good training program to begin with.
Okay.
You could do, if you're very much a beginner, you might want to try and train each body part twice a week. So maybe you can do like an upper lower body split, you know, Monday upper body, Tuesday lower body, Thursday upper body, Friday lower body. Or maybe you want to break up your body parts a little bit more, do something like chest and biceps one day, you know, shoulders and triceps the next day, back one day, and then legs another day. You could just split it up like that. Basically, I would like to say that you don't want to do more than about 20 working sets per workout. So basically, I'm not talking about your warm-ups. Warm-ups is a different thing, but once you get into the work sets where you're really, you know, trying to basically go to exhaustion, I wouldn't do more than about 20 work sets per workout. For example, even myself and you, Dave, when we do our training sessions, we tend to do 8 working sets for the first body part, 8 working sets for the second body part, and then 4 working sets for either calves or abs. So we limit ourselves to 20 sets.
Oh yeah.
So
That's true.
So basically, you don't really need more than that. You want to stick mostly with the more basic movements in the beginning. The compound movements, I'm talking about bench presses, squats, bent over rows, deadlifts, overhead presses. Those are the foundational movements that you want to start working with. Doesn't mean you're going to use them forever, but they are foundational movements and they should be included. You need to get stronger on these movements. I would stay away from trying to use, a lot of people in the beginning make the mistake of using all machines because they're shiny and they're simple to use and you just put a pin in, but they do not produce the same results as free weights do, especially in the beginning. Once you've learned your body and you have years of experience behind you, you can better use the cables and the machines. So stick to basic movements. Another thing that I would say is that you have to think about your nutrition as well.
Yes.
Nutrition is, you're not going to get any results without proper nutrition, or at least the results will be minimal. So now we're talking about, do you want to, is your goal to bulk up? Is your goal to lose fat? Is it to try to do a little bit of each? Obviously, again, I can't lay out a whole program, but you should be thinking in terms of a 5-meal-a-day program, 5 to 6 meals per day, spread out evenly, meals every, say, 2.5 to 3 hours. Every one of the meals should be based around protein. Protein is going to be the most important macronutrient. Thinking in terms of protein, you want to go somewhere in the range of about 1 gram per pound of body weight. Say you weigh 150 pounds. That would be 5 meals a day, 30 grams of protein per meal, something like that. Carbohydrates, also extremely important in the equation, whether looking to build muscle or burn body fat. Obviously, the amounts that you would take in is going to be a little bit less for each. But you want to focus most of your carbohydrates around your morning meal, after you've had a fast at night, and also around your post-workout meal, because these 2 times a day you're most metabolically set up to store carbohydrates. Your insulin sensitivity is highest, and these are the times where you're going to utilize carbohydrates the best. So those meals should be the highest in carbohydrates. The other meals, you can have a mix of some carbohydrates, and I would also include some healthy fats. Healthy fats are needed for, a lot of people think that you have to cut all fats out of your diet when you're trying to lose body fat because fat turns into fat. It's not simple like that. It doesn't work just like that. Especially healthy fats have a lot of function in the body for health, for metabolism, for hormone production, these types of things. So thinking about things like nuts and olive oil and fish oils and avocados, those types of healthy fats are very, very important to have in the diet. So you want to have a balance of those in the other meals. Try to make all meals balanced in protein. And like I said, the heavy carbohydrate meals should be first meal and the post-workout meal.
What about cardio? Some people are killing themselves on the cardio, like 2.5 hours because they really want to lose body fat. What would you say when you get started is the right amount of cardio, so you still put on a little bit of muscle and manage to lose the fat? And I think overdoing it is like the biggest mistake people do.
Yeah, I mean, people don't have to do, again, we're talking generalities here.
Yeah.
So, but I think basically, if you do 20 minutes of cardio after your training sessions, maybe on your off days, you don't want to have a complete off day, do another 30 minutes of cardio on those days, take 1 full day of rest. There's really no reason to do any more cardio than that in the beginning. Obviously, if your goals change, you're getting ready for competition, things change.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, that's a fair amount of cardio.
Nice.
But even if say that you don't have that much time, then do your 4 weight training days a week, and then on 2 of the off days, maybe do 45 minutes of cardio or
Nice.
something like that. But you don't have to go overboard, just as long as you get some cardio in there to raise the metabolism, burn some body fat, and for just overall health.
Yeah.
So again, now supplementation. Matt Porter touched on this a lot. I agree with him on a lot of things that he said. The basic supplements, the first thing you want, of course, is to have some type of a protein in there, a protein powder, because it makes it a lot easier to get in 5 to 6 meals a day, which a lot of people are not used to doing. So maybe if you had 3 whole food meals and 2 meals that were protein powder based, a good whey isolate, or maybe a combination of casein and whey, as long as it's a high quality brand, that's going to be your first supplement. Creatine, as Matt mentioned as well, creatine monohydrate is the gold standard. It is still one of the most effective and tested supplements out there, no doubt about it. So something like loading with 20 grams a day for the first 5 days, and then dropping it down to about 5 grams a day for the remainder, taking post-workout, as Matt again mentioned, is the best time. I also believe very heavily in branched chain amino acids. I think that they're great to use first thing in the morning when you wake up. Also to be used while you're training as well. They help to stave off fatigue. They help to keep your body in an anabolic state. So that's great for growth. And after the workout, I highly recommend a good shot of L-leucine, about 5 grams of L-leucine as soon as you're done with your workout. And I also would recommend, because food is not as nutritious as it used to be, a good multivitamin mineral is also another great thing to add on top of that.
Nice.
After that, you start to get into things like pre-workout products and test boosters and things like that.
Yeah.
That's all fine, but I think that that's secondary to the basics.
Yes.
Rest, which I mentioned before, essential. Your diet could be on point, your training could be on point, you're not getting any rest, you're out every night, you're up late every night, you're getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night.
No good.
You're not making any progress.
Yeah.
Your body does not grow in the gym. That's a thing that actually, believe it or not, a lot of people think.
I know.
They think they come in the gym, they're like, I'm building muscle right now. You're not. You're tearing muscle down.
You're breaking.
So basically, you're building muscle when you're at rest. When you're resting during the day, you're building muscle, but at no time are you building more muscle than when you're asleep at night. The body slows every single process down so that it can recover and recuperate fully. The central nervous system, the immune system, the muscular system, the digestive system, everything calms down at night. So that's the time that you're going to grow. Excuse me, I have something in my eye. So yes, so you need at least, I would say, minimum 6 good hours of sleep a night. You should try for 8 if you possibly can. Without sleep, you're not going to make progress. You're certainly not going to lose body fat either. A lot of people wonder, why am I not losing fat? They're getting too little sleep. The cortisol levels are high.
Boom.
Cortisol is high. You're destroying muscle. You're storing fat.
This is awesome.
So these are some of the things you need to think about. And again, finally, I touched on before, I don't want to go too long here, persistence, consistency. If you do this, exactly what I'm talking about, 3 days one week, then you screw up a couple of days, then 4 days the next week, then 2, it's not going to work. You have to make a decision to make this a lifestyle, to do it every single day. Whatever your plan is for that day, you need to follow the plan. You need to get all your meals in. You need to get that rest. You need to do that training. You need to do that cardio. You need to do it day in and day out, and just put it into your life. And that is how you make it. It's consistency over time that builds physiques. It is not short periods of time. It's not 6 weeks of intensive training or anything like that. It's years and years and years. The guys, yes, there are some freaks out there. They do exist that build tremendous amount of muscle like that. But those are so few and far between. Those are like people who can pick up instruments and play them without even learning how to do them. They're so rare. Most of us, 99.9% of us, need consistency and persistence every single day for years to build a really, truly fantastic physique. So just make it part of your life. Do it every single day. Make a commitment to it. And putting all those things together, that's how a beginner goes from beginner to having an awesome physique.
Awesome. Thanks, Biggie.
No problem.